time, please stand for the invocation and pledge. Please pray in the manner according to your custom by the prayer according to time. As we gather together tonight, let us not lose sight of the fact that the fundamental reason we are gathered in this room is to make the county a better place. May our every decision be informed by that guiding precept. Let us not forget one another's common humanity, and let us remember that each of us sitting here in this room was once a child. All of us are human beings, all of us are here so that we can make the world a better place, and all of us are doing what we feel to be good and just. May our hearts and minds be open. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any item in council who would like to place? May I have a motion that the partial reading of any bill or resolution, amendment to a bill or resolution, or minutes constitutes the reading of the whole? So moved. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Secretary, please use the titles of the budget bill for the benefit of our members of the public.
Bill number 3226, an ordinance concerning annual budget and appropriation ordinance of Anne Arundel County. Bill number 3326, an ordinance concerning tax levies, special community benefit districts, shore erosion control districts, and waterways improvement districts. Bill number 3426, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Arundel Gateway Special Taxing District. Bill number 3526, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Arundel Mills Special Taxing District. Bill number 3626, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Dorchester Special Taxing District. Bill number 3726, an ordinance concerning tax levies, National Business Park Special Taxing District. Bill number 3826, an ordinance concerning tax levies, National Business Park North Special Taxing District. Bill number 3926, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Two Rivers Special Taxing District. Bill number 4026, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Village South at Watt Chapel Special Taxing District. Bill number 4126, an ordinance concerning public works, utilities, fire flow test charge. Bill number 4226, an ordinance concerning public works, utilities, infrastructure maintenance fee, utility investment fee. Bill number 4326, an ordinance concerning public works, solid waste collection, solid waste service charge. Bill number 4426, an ordinance concerning public works, utilities, metered water and wastewater charges. And bill number 4526, an ordinance concerning property tax and semi-annual payment service charge.
Thank you. Before we open the public hearing, I would like to remind everyone in attendance, whether testifying or a member of the audience, that we must maintain decorum at all times. We have a couple of individuals who are here to make brief statements about the budget. First, Budget Officer Trumbauer.
Madam Chair and members of the County Council, for the record, I'm Chris Trumbauer, Budget Officer for Anne Arundel County. Thank you for the opportunity to give a brief overview of County Executive Stuart Pittman's proposed budget for fiscal year 2027. In this final year of the Pittman administration, I think you will find that the budget before you focuses on successfully completing many of the efforts the County Executive and County Council have undertaken together in recent years. I'm pleased to report that the fiscal foundation of Anne Arundel County remains strong, and the county has retained AAA credit ratings from all three major credit agencies. The proposed fiscal year 2027 general fund budget totals $2,577,129,400. This budget is supported by modest revenue growth in both income and property tax revenue, which accounts for about 3/4 of the county's overall revenue stream. Most of the other revenue sources are flat. The county also continues to benefit from elevated investment income for its cash balances and reserves due to current high interest rates. This year's proposed general fund budget increases $176 million, or about 7.3% compared to the current year's approved budget. Adjusting for fund balance yields a $131.7 million increase, or 5.9%, similar growth compared to last year. The FY27 proposed budget is balanced and there is no structural deficit. All recurring expenses are being paid for with recurring revenues, and there is an additional $5.7 million in unappropriated fund balance held as a contingency for federal funding impacts. The county charter requires a property tax revenue cap, and this year the tax cap would yield a new rate of 96.2 cents per $100 of assessed value. However, the county executive has proposed a rate of 96.8 cents with the additional revenue supporting an equitable compensation package for school system employees and 26 new special education positions. State law provides counties with property tax revenue caps the ability to set a rate above the cap in order to fund public education. The proposed rate is still a 0.9 cent decrease from the current rate of 97.7 cents. There are no proposed changes to the local income tax rates. They are the same as the current year. For our school system, the budget includes $1,054 million of direct funding, which is a record $72.9 million increase from last year. The proposed budget funds a compensation package for our educators and school employees that is equitable to county employees' compensation package with a merit step and a 2.25% cost of living increase. The budget also meets all state blueprint requirements and other contractual commitments. For public safety, the proposed budget provides funding to staff the final shift in the police department's innovative real-time information center, bringing the full vision of this crime-stopping effort to reality. Look out, criminals! The budget also proposes 21 new firefighter positions, the largest addition to the department since 2019. For health and human services, the proposed budget enhances several successful initiatives started in recent years. These include $2 million of funding for the Anne Arundel County Food Bank, expands the Gun Violence Intervention Program to Brooklyn Park, and adds 2 new positions to the REACH program. To open and operate the new recreation and park facilities coming online, the budget includes several new park rangers and other operations positions. In addition, there are 5 new positions within the Department of Public Works and Central Services to implement a new capital optimization initiative to move capital projects more quickly through the process. The proposed budget fully funds our annual pension and retiree health care contributions and continues the county's policy of maximizing our contribution to the Revenue Reserve or Rainy Day Fund at 8% of the forecasted operating revenues. For our county employees, the proposed budget generally supports a 2.25% cost of living adjustment for our bargaining units, non-represented employees, and contractual workers. The proposed budget also supports our vibrant library system and our world-class Anne Arundel County Community College with new funding of $1.1 million and $2.4 million respectively. Proposed county utility rates are increasing to reflect rising costs. The solid waste fee is up 10% and water and sewer rates increased 9%. The Utility Debt Service Fund has a new structure that includes a fixed charge, but this will impact ratepayers less than the status quo method. The average annual bill for a residential water or sewer customer is estimated to be about $1,033 or about $2.83 per day, which remains among the lowest in the region. The county stormwater fee will remain unchanged. In addition to the operating budget, the 6-year capital improvement program is before the council now. The proposed capital budget is well within all of the county's debt affordability guidelines and more than $5 million under our affordability limit for the cumulative 6-year program. There are only a handful of new capital projects in the proposed budget as the administration is focusing resources on bringing current projects to completion. The capital budget provides full funding for all school construction programs in the current capital program and maximizes state grant funding opportunities. In closing, I thank you for this opportunity to present a budget overview tonight. The county executive and the entire budget team look forward to working with the county council and the auditor staff as we work to strike a budget to meet the priority needs of our county residents. Copies of the entire budget, including budget highlights, are available on the Budget Office website at www.aacounty.org. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Trumbauer. Next, skip Auld and Anne Arundel County Public Library.
Hello, everybody. Hello, County Council members and residents of Anne Arundel County. My name is Skip Auld. I serve as Chief Executive Officer of Anne Arundel County Public Library. Thank you for this opportunity to address you on behalf of our Board of Trustees and library system. At the end of my presentation, I'm going to ask everyone in the audience who has a library card to hold it up. So, be ready. Okay. All of us, including library staff and members of our Foundation Board of Directors, really appreciate all of the support that you've given in recent years. Of the 602,000 people living in our county, 321,000 have library cards and almost 200,000 have used these cards in the past year. Our libraries do more with less. Of the 6 suburban Baltimore library systems, our per capita funding is the lowest at about $57 per person. Frederick and Baltimore County libraries have $6 more than Anne Arundel, and the top 3 libraries, Hartford, Howard, and Carroll, have $26, $34, and $40 more per person than we do here in our home county. There are 3 capital projects and 3 operating budget items of great importance to us this year. Brooklyn Park Library is getting a $4.7 million renovation. This is much needed and overdue. Second, we're looking at a site for a new Mountain Road Library at the southwest corner of Edwin Rayner Boulevard and Mountain Road. It's my understanding that there are 11 acres available there, more than enough to accommodate a new library and possibly a new senior center. The county executive's budget proposes a feasibility study. We will work with the Department of Public Works starting July 1st, and then in December we'll be back with a request for full funding of the new facility. A third project already funded is the new Glen Burnie Library. Schematic design was completed in November, and the county is about 90 days away from issuing a request for proposal for the contractor and architect who will complete design development and get us moving to demolition of the existing building and construction of the new Library and Cultural Resources Center. Before construction begins, we will identify a location for a temporary library as we move toward a grand opening in 2028 or 2029. In the operating budget, we've asked for numerous positions over several years. Here are our 2 most critical needs. We really need a maintenance mechanic. The maintenance team is led by Mark Freeman. They do great work, but as we move to a new headquarters facility this fall on Aviation Boulevard, we absolutely need this position. We also have been asking several years for a performance measures and data analyst position. Please fund these positions if at all possible. In addition, for the past few years, our libraries have benefited from 3 Maryland Service Corps employees per year. We get a tremendous bang for the buck with this program. Salaries are funded by the state, and we provide benefits and a fee to support the program. Help us get great jobs for young people looking to figure out their careers. It is a great program that introduces various library careers to young people at a very low cost. I've been wearing a special library t-shirt this evening. I'm going to turn around so the audience can see it. It says, "Libraries put the free in freedom." So, see? You can get one, just ask a librarian, okay? In this 250th year after the writing of the Declaration of Independence, we should note that 15 years later in 1791, Congress ratified the Bill of Rights. The very first amendment in the Bill of Rights says this: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. The freedom of speech established by Congress just 3 years after the Constitution was ratified, during the first term of President George Washington, is the guarantee that no state, county, school board, or library system will determine what you can and cannot read. But there are powerful forces organized and unleashed across the United States to do just that. Tonight, in my final budget address to County Council, before I retire next February, I'm proud to say that Anne Arundel County, your library system, curates a selection of books, movies, music, and programs based on the needs and interests of the entire community and not based on what some people want other people not to read. We do not remove books such as genderqueer or roots because organized groups try to scare people into taking freedom to read from some residents in favor of imposing their own personal restrictions on their neighbors. Our Board of Trustees voted in 2024 to be a book sanctuary, the same year that the state of Maryland passed the Freedom to Read Act. These are important safeguards in this era of mighty currents of censorship across the country. For example, in Florida, Texas, and Tennessee, where the Knoxville school system recently banned the book Roots by Alex Haley from its school libraries. I want to end by thanking each and every one of you, Council Chair Hummer, Vice Chair Smith, and Council members Pickard, Volke, Fiedler, Rodian, and Ledbetter for your dedicated and principled service to our county. It's been my great pleasure to serve alongside you in my own role, leading our library system and coming every year to beg for money and positions. And now if you have a library card, please hold it up. Whoa! Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I gotta get really close. Hello. Is it on? Yes. Okay. Great. Just squat a little. I can take it out. Here we go. Is it working? Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Good evening, Chairwoman Hunter and distinguished council members. My name is Leah Paley. I'm the CEO of the Arundel County Food Bank and a proud District 5 resident. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the food bank this evening, our extensive partner network, and the tens of thousands of county residents reached with our resources each month. We appreciate your past support for our work and encourage you to please maintain the FY27 budget allocation for the food bank of $2.727 million. Our county is affluent, but wealth is clearly unequally distributed amongst our residents. 33% of households in this county are currently struggling to meet their basic monthly household expenses. As food and gas costs continue to rise and safety net programs are cut, food banks are becoming more than just a source of supplemental food for our neighbors. We're serving more households at our mobile pantry and across our network, 1,300 more per month than last fiscal year, and the highest since the pandemic. Unfortunately, demand for food assistance in our county has never recovered from pre-COVID levels. 2019, we were averaging 27,000 households per month. Today, that number is nearly 52,000. As more residents rely on us to put food on the table, we maintain committed to improving the variety, cultural relevance, and nutritional value of the food that we offer, because food is a human right, and everyone deserves access to nutritious, affordable food. We are so grateful for the critical role that each of you have played in our ability to purchase fresh, healthy food. Last year, we distributed 1.2 million pounds of fresh produce, and we're on track to do more than that this year. Please, please, please maintain the FY27 allocation of $2.727 million to ensure we can keep providing our neighbors with the nutritious food they need to help their families thrive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Hi, my name's Kurt. Is that working? Kurt Svensson, Arnold, Maryland. The year-end surplus used in the county executive's first budget in fiscal 20 was $53 million. In this year's budget, it's $216 million. In the last 5 years, these surpluses have totaled $983 million. They've quadrupled in less than 10 years. It's as if these are being created on purpose. But why? I offer two reasons. First, Prior year surpluses are historically used as pay-go or cash funding for capital projects. In the last 5 years, $818 million of pay-go has been authorized to the capital budget. That's more than the total amount of bond funding authorized in those same 5 years. That's unprecedented and problematic. Growing the capital budget to add new facilities in such an unconstrained way has big impact on future operating budgets in the form of new, non-discretionary costs. But it's great politics. Second, understating revenue estimates also helps make the case for the county charter's property tax revenue cap being exceeded, which this proposed budget does. This is historic, folks. It's never been done before. There's no making up for previous years rationale here. That card's been played. The $6.1 million generated by exceeding the cap is relatively, those big numbers I just said, small, but it is one hell of a slippery slope precedent. The county council has the authority to reduce the property tax rate to comply with the voter-approved charter limit. Just because the state legislature gave you permission to thumb your nose to the will of the people does not mean you should do it. The voters, not just those in this room, are watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Ms. Huffman?
Hello, my name is Trisha Huffman. I live at 630 Deal Road. Oops, can you hear me? I'm a third-generation Southern High School alumna, parent of a 2025 graduate, an incoming freshman, and 2 younger children who will continue through the Southern cluster. Southern High School was built in 1968, and today our students and staff are still dealing with many of the same concerns that existed when I was a student more than 20 years ago. Tonight we are not asking for luxury upgrades. We're asking for functioning HVAC, safe and usable facilities, a second gym and team room, and enough space so our students and youth programs are not forced into 9 and 10 p.m. practices just to make schedules work. Here's the part that's especially hard to understand. AACPS recognized these needs. They proposed these budget items and selected Southern High School. Today, it was announced as the home of a new Agricultural Science Career Institute program. Somewhere between the school system's proposal and this council's decisions, South County was once again pushed aside. So apparently Southern High is good enough to host county career programs, but not good enough to invest in. You can't ask a school to become a destination for opportunity while continuing to treat its infrastructure like an afterthought. Because at some point, this stops being about scheduling and budgets. It becomes about what the message Anne Arundel County is sending to South County students in our community. Tonight I'm asking you to change that message. Restore Southern High's budgets, fiscal year 27 budget items, fund the HVAC and facility improvements, fund the second gym in the team room, and fund the greenhouse upgrades. Show South County students they matter just as much as every other part of the county.
My name is Laura Bach. I'm going to talk really fast because I have 2 minutes. I too am an old South County graduate from Southern High School way before Tricia in 1992. We are using the same gym facilities that I practiced in 1992. That's ridiculous. Okay, it's ridiculous. We had practices back then until 9:30 at night because there wasn't enough space. Not to have 3-hour practices, but so each team could get an hour. That's what we're doing now. We're busing our high school kids to the middle school so they can find time to practice. We're sending them home after school, hoping they can find a ride back. Here's what the problem is with that. Not only are we the smallest high school in Anne Arundel County, but we fall at the income level about right in the middle. We have over 40% of our kids on free and reduced lunch. What that means is that our kids can't go home and hope to find a ride back. If that's what they have to do, they're not making it back. These are kids who don't have options for travel league ball, all right? Rec sports, that's all they have. Okay, not only does this affect the high school, it affects SCYA, the youth organization that now I'm working with, trying to make a better life for my girls. We don't have time for those kids to practice. My elementary school student who's in 3rd grade practices from 8:15 to 9:15 because that's the only gym space she can get. So she's either exhausted or not playing basketball. I don't want to take any money away from any school here, but I am going to point out that the closest school to us is South River. They have a gym that's twice the size of ours. It's the 2nd largest gym in the county, and they are slated for a major renovation that's going to give them 2 new gyms. Northeast, which is the next biggest school that we have in the county, they got their 2nd gym 10 years ago. According to Anne Arundel County, there are 4 schools in this county, can I have 10 seconds, that are fair. Southern is one of them. And I'm just asking that you get us out of that fair bracket and move us to good. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Council. My name is Kevin Jackson. I live at 4785 Sands Road, Harwood, Maryland, 20776. I'm the father of a sophomore at Severn High School. I'm the father of an 8th grade student at Severn Middle School. I'm the president of South County Youth Athletics, at least for another 40 days until I turn over to Ms. Bach, who you just heard from. She is the president-elect. And I'm a previous member of the Board of Education from 2009 to 2015. SCYA is a 501c3 nonprofit youth athletics organization. All sports in South County: youth football, basketball, baseball, futsal, soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, the list could go on. You and I both know that I'm here to talk about Southern High School's 2nd gym at $5.5 million and $25,000 that was pulled out by the county executive for the Southern High School greenhouse. Before I do and go down that path, I want to tell you something that I think you don't know. You see, SCYA put, back in 2002, 6 72-inch tempered glass backboards at Severn Middle School because of the inequity associated in South County. We paid that $12,000 bill. Okay, we did, the association. And it becomes school property after you do it. We did it from an AACPS approved vendor. We also put in for the county, we put in 2 72-inch tempered glass backboards at South County Rec Center in 2002. That was another $4.4K. So that's $16,000 that SCYA has invested in the county and turned those projects over. SCYA provides for the community. That's my point. Deaths to parents, we help them. Fire department, fire destruction of homes, those families, we help them. We've done that. Scholarships each year, $6,000. 4 1.5K scholarships. We've done that for the last 7 years. What's my point? We give. We're asking you, I'm asking you tonight to please give too. You have a surplus. Please give. This is not an R issue, it's not a D issue, it's an E issue. It's an equity issue. Please address it now.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Cindy Eagle.
Good evening, council members. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Cindy O'Neill. I live in District 6 in... Sorry. Is this better? Okay, thank you so much. My name is Cindy O'Neill. I am a resident of District 6 in Annapolis in the Epping Forest community, and I am a member of the Board of Directors of the Anne Arundel County Food Bank, which is why I'm here tonight. I am here to speak the testimony Ms. Paley previously gave, that you keep intact the $2.727 million in funding for Anne Arundel County Food Bank in the FY27 budget. I have served on the Food Bank's Board of Directors for the past 2 years. Before joining the Food Bank's board, I worked as an organizational capacity building consultant for the Food Bank from 2020 to 2022. I've seen firsthand the growth and the need for healthy and nourishing food in our county. And as Leah shared, it's been an exponential increase since 2019. Access to healthy food is a basic need, and I'm proud to use my skills to support the Food Bank's leadership, staff, and volunteers as they serve our county to provide nourishing food at no cost to residents in need. In my work as a consultant to other county-based nonprofits, I'm often asked why the Anne Arundel County Food Bank and its network partners do not offer more fruits, vegetables, and protein. I explain that cost is a constraint, and although the food bank has the ability to purchase healthy food at bulk rates, there is still not enough funding to meet the full demand. I also shared that the food bank distributed over 1 million pounds of produce and lean proteins last year. Please help the Anne Arundel County Food Bank continue to meet the growing demand for healthy, nutritious food in our county by including the county executive's recommended funding of $2.727 million in the fiscal year 2027 budget. Your support will help us ensure that families do not have to choose between food and paying for rent, heat, electricity, prescription medicines, and other household expenses. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak this evening.
Thank you, Susan. The next group to come on now, Shelby Harris, Jeff Strong, Rebecca Martini, Aaron Rule, Michelle Steinbacher, and Drew Griffith.
Hi, I'm Shelley Parrott, and I live in Davidsonville, and I'm here on behalf of the Anne Arundel County Food Bank to ask that you continue your support for the funding in the current budget. I'm a volunteer with the food bank, and it's most often with the mobile food pantry distributions. These distributions occur about 5 to 6 times a month in locations all across this county. I have come to learn just how big this county is and how beautiful it is. I participate in every single mobile pantry that I can because I have come to learn that if you want to give back to your community, then you should put food in the hands of people who need it. At the mobile pantry, I meet the people that the food bank serves. They come from every segment of our communities. These are our neighbors. These are people, these are military members in uniform. These are school bus drivers, teachers. They are school custodians and cafeteria workers. They are librarians, and they are Anne Arundel County employees. These people tell me that they love their jobs, but they are having a very hard time making ends meet right now. They are people that we rely on to make our communities hum. These are our neighbors. I ask that you continue your support of the food bank's work to provide healthy food to our neighbors so that they can continue in the jobs that they love to make our communities hum, and that they don't have to make the choices that were just described to you between paying rent and eating good food. You have supported the food bank in the past. It is a tremendous way to support our communities and our neighbors, and I ask that you continue it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Strong. I've been the wrestling coach at Southern High School for 23, 24 years now. So I've been in probably more gyms than almost anyone in this room. With that being said, I can tell you that our gym is not equal to the others in the county and to many across the state. It's in desperate need of repair and upgrades. The wrestling room, which is considered the second gym at Southern, is a small room the size of one wrestling mat. About 3 years ago, it was freezing in there. We took a thermometer down to the admin. It was 50 degrees in there. The mats were hard as concrete. They said we can turn the heat on. So we had them turn the heat on. Since then, it's been 93 degrees when we start practicing in the wrestling room. 93. That's what it was like outside today. Not a great environment to work in. Embarrassing. We held a JV county rodeo where half the teams come down. Because our gym's not big enough, the third mat had to be in the wrestling room. The comments I got from the parents who had to go in there, nowhere to sit, watch their kid wrestle, and stand in 93 degrees to come out were remarkable. I just smiled and said, please help us, let the county know. The locker room, embarrassing. Nowhere to sit. I walked River Hill in there the other day for a basketball game. We set 5 metal chairs in the showers that are dripping loaded with sports equipment, and they sit in there, and that's where they have their halftime thing. The players have nowhere to sit. They stand in there. That's our locker room. That's what we show to other teams when they show up. Since I started 20 years ago, we've had let's see, we've had Crofton, brand new school, Old Mill, new school, Serena Park, new school, Severn Run, new school, Northeast, the exact same school as us. Huge gym, one of the nicest gyms in the state. No reason we can't have this stuff. North County has a nice gym. I walked in Meade last year. That school is so nice now, fixed up. Southern's been the same since I got there 23 years ago, and it was 40 years old then. Needs help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. Rebecca Martini?
Hi, my name is Rebecca Martini. I live in Harwood with my family. My boys are here tonight, my husband. One son is a 5th grader at Lothian Elementary and one is a 7th grader at Southern Middle School. They're looking forward to going on to high school at Southern Middle School. Our family is very active in community sports, all through SCYA, the South County Youth Association. Collectively, we're involved in soccer, baseball, wrestling, basketball, and futsal. I coach boys soccer 2 seasons a year and futsal in the winter. My husband coaches basketball. I'm the commissioner for futsal and associate commissioner for boys soccer. I requested to speak to you tonight to urge you to please add the second gym and other improvements to Southern High School back into the budget for next year. Our community really needs these upgrades to our aging facilities. It's my understanding that Southern High School has the smallest gym in the county and is also the only high school without a functioning second gym. It is also one of only 2 high schools in the county identified in Fair Condition that does not have plans for major renovations. The impacts of not having a second gym trickle down even to the families of children younger than high school age. In wintertime, we often have children at basketball practice until 8 or 9 p.m. due to the lack of adequate gym space. Some sports, such as futsal, cannot even hold practices during the week because there's no gym space available. Our seasons consist solely of games over the weekend. We can't believe our eyes when we travel to locations like Crofton High School or South River High School or Broadneck High School for wrestling meets or basketball games. The gyms are spacious and do not smell musty like Southern High School's gym. I would like for my children to have access to facilities that are on par with the rest of Anne Arundel County. These improvements are very important to the families in our community. Please do the right thing and fund the improvements to Southern High School in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martini. Arundel?
Mull, like shopping.
Mull.
Hello, I'm Aaron Mull. I live in District 3 in Pasadena. I am a union rep here at at Severn Run High School. And a few weeks ago, several of our ACC teachers approached me. For those that don't know, the alternate curriculum class provides specialized instruction and real-life experiences to prepare students with significant disabilities for life beyond high school. These are some of the kindest, sweetest, most wonderful students that we have, but they also require extra supervision, toileting help, and other specialized care. The teachers were concerned that the numbers that they were hearing for next year were quite high, and I confirmed with district personnel that in 7 high schools with ACC programs, they were anticipating 11 to 13 students in each classroom. The goal, as I understand it, is to get below 10, and the teachers themselves tell me that the sweet spot is about 8. Now, luckily, the budget that Executive Pittman proposed puts 26 more special education teachers into action next year, and that is sorely needed. However, Dr. Bedell requested 82.2 special education positions to meet the needs of our special education students, and I know he did not pull that number out of a hat. Our special education classes and caseloads are too high. Anyone who has sat in a classroom knows that larger class sizes mean less time and attention for each child from the teachers. We don't need studies to prove that smaller classes are better for our kids, but if anyone wants to read them, they've been around since I was in kindergarten, and I'll email them to you. When I talk to people about being a teacher, sometimes they'll say, oh wow, I don't know how you do it, I could never be a teacher. I will tell you that when teachers gather together, they say, oh wow, I don't know how the special education teachers do it. I can never do what they do. They are doing the hardest job in education, and they need a little bit more help. Please increase the allocation for special education positions in next year's budget and give them the help that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Long.
My name is Michelle Steinbacher, and I live in Catonsville, Maryland. I work here at Severn High School. Special education is under extraordinary strain from chronic understaffing. The system is stretched beyond human capacity. Students need support, and teachers need the staffing and time to provide it. This council should fully fund 82.2 special educator positions because, quite frankly, we can't afford not to. Here's the reality that every special educator knows. We compensate for staff shortages through unpaid labor and personal sacrifice. The system does not pay us for our unseen labor and could not possibly even quantify it. But funding 82.2 positions seems a clear bargain in comparison. The people most capable of leadership and the knowledge to improve the system are often in classrooms conducting emergency triage due to the never-ending staff shortage. When every building is in survival mode, the system consumes its most experienced special educators for short-term survival. This creates burnout, stagnation, resentment, and attrition, and this problem is not going away. Students ultimately pay the price in missed instructional time, delayed services, staff turnover, and reactive instead of proactive support. Special educators can do amazing things with the most unexpected materials, but what we cannot do is be super glue that holds a broken system together while everyone looks on and says, man, I can't believe that held. Understaffing is not simply an inconvenience, it is damaging our ability to service students sustainably and legally. I have been a special educator for 18 years. I am here tonight despite this crush and dysfunction because yes, it impacts me, but it impacts the students more. I have not become cynical enough to stop caring. Special educators are not asking for miracles. We are asking for enough time and support to do the job we are legally and morally required to do. In order to make this a reality, 82.2 positions is an excellent start.
Good evening, my name is Nick Matoka. I'm down in Shadyside, Maryland, District 7. I'm one of the coaches in Southern's rec league system. My wife is a regular substitute teacher for Anne Arundel County Schools as well. We moved to the region about 15 years ago when I was trying to find a place to live. Number one thing most important to me was the school system. So we chose, and I don't regret it any day, Anne Arundel County. So first of all, thank you for making this a great county. However, of course, I'm here tonight because I have a concern, and it's a concern about equity. I've coached in the South River system, and I've coached in the Southern system. I've seen both of them. My daughter graduated from South River High School. My son's about to enter Southern High School. These schools are about 10 minutes apart, and it's a very clear representation of the disparity and the lack of equity that we see between the schools and what we have at Southern. I'm just going to repeat some of the facts that I know have already been stated as I ask you to please fund the gymnasium and the other expenditures to make Southern High School more like the other high schools in this county. South River Gymnasium, 14 hoops. Southern, 6. Only 4 schools in the county have been assessed as being in fair condition. 2 of them are getting major renovations. The other 2, Glen Burnie and Southern. Southern has the smallest gymnasium in the county, and it's the only school without a second functioning gymnasium. Please fund the gymnasium and the other expenditures for Southern High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Cordova.
Good evening. My name is Volke Cordova. I am a resident of Gambles, a parent of 2 ACPS students, and TAC Vice President. While we appreciate the county executive's effort to stretch the FY27 budget to meet the Board of Education's funding request for increased salaries and staffing, the budget as it stands still falls short of what our schools deserve. I currently work as a PPW at Meade High School, and our family also includes an educator at Mills Parole Elementary. Between us, we have more than half a century of experience serving students. However, with 2 children about to attend college, we are both taking second jobs to ensure that they are in saddle with the student loans, but even those second jobs won't make up for rising expenses and what amounts to a pay cut with only a 2.25% COLA. In elementary schools like Mills Parole, we are seeing huge increases in the needs of our youngest learners. Student behaviors have spiked, and the needs of the special education students are increasing. So we need more special educators. The Board of Education requested 82 special educators, but this budget only funds 26. Without adequate staffing, we are not able to provide the support that our students deserve. We urge you on the County Council to find creative paths to secure the revenue needed to fund the AACPS staffing and COLA requests. Last week, we presented one option: keep the property tax rates the same as FY26 in order to generate $9 million. This week, we are presented two more options: work with the county executive to increase the income tax rate for top earners by just 0.1% to reach the 3.3 cap. This very small increase would likely generate $10 million. Another option is to adjust tax brackets so that those doing well pay their fair share. Right now, those making $400,000 and above pay 3.2%. What if the threshold was lowered to those making $300,000 or even $200,000?
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Ms. David?
Hi, my name is Nancy David, and I live in Crofton.
Can you get closer to the
Hi, my name is Nancy David, and I live in Crofton. Good evening, County Council members. I am a special education teacher at Meade Middle School. I am here tonight to ask for stronger support for special educators in our county and a 3% COLA increase. Special education, my glasses. Special educators do far more than classroom instruction. We manage IEPs, collect data, behavior support, and communication needs, meet with families, and ensure students receive legally required services, often far beyond the school day. We take this workload home, and our emotional demands continue to increase, while many teachers are struggling to afford living in this area. Personally, my family has had to make significant changes in our budget, as well as my husband taking on a second job on the weekends to make up for the lack of income that I bring home, so that I can take my kids to the sporting events that they need to go to. As a result, schools are facing burnout, staffing shortages, and high turnover. When special education teachers leave, students lose consistency, support, and relationships that are critical to their success. Our students deserve experienced, qualified educators who can afford to remain in this profession long term. Retaining special education teachers, including our TAs, TSAs, requires compensation that reflects the responsibility and expertise this work demands of us. The county executive wants to fund about a third of the professional special educators and specialists requested by Dr. Bedell. So instead of giving our students what they need and deserve, we are again asked to do more with less. I am asking the County Council to consider the needs of the school system and fund what Dr. Bedell requested, a 3% COLA, to make sure all our children have what they need to be successful in school and life, especially those that are most vulnerable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. David. Andy Howard?
Good evening. I'm Candy Howerton. I am a special ed classroom teacher. I've worked in the center for 32 years. I want to tell you about just one classroom at Marley Glen Special Center. In this classroom, there are 5 students, grades 1 through 3, 1 teacher, 1 paraeducator, and 1 TSA. That's 3 adults with 5 students. It sounds great, but it isn't. Each student needs one-on-one attention to remain seated, stay on task, and to implement their behavior protocols. Each student needs sensory or movement breaks every 10 minutes. Each student has a behavior protocol that is followed to teach appropriate learning behaviors and to decrease maladaptive behaviors. Some students have self-injurious behaviors when they are overstimulated. Several of the students have modified work areas so they can stand up and walk around during academic activities because they are not able to sit for 10 whole minutes. I am not exaggerating when I say, last week I went into this classroom to give an assessment to one of the students. I literally sat on the floor with her while she rolled like a crocodile. While she was rolling like a crocodile, I asked her the questions, I gave her the picture choices, and we did our best to get through this assessment. And that was only 1 of 5 that we had to do. Classroom staff have timers, data sheets, reward charts, first den charts, and aprons full of pockets with behavior rewards. Staff need to call for behavior support multiple times a day because sometimes the students would rather kick, fight, throw, drop to the floor, or elope than participate in whatever work activity they've been asked to. Staff are exhausted. They get injured. One staff received a concussion and had to miss work for weeks. Another staff pulled out her back and missed work for 2 weeks, and when she returned, she had to be put on light duty. This leads to major interruptions in the classroom routine. For our students, routine is the most important thing to help them navigate their day. We cannot keep interrupting their routines. Please fund the position we asked for.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Hi, my name is Elise Wilburn. I'm in District 7. I grew up in the South Bronx, and I'm an ex-military analyst. And if you told me that I was going to be standing up here going against food banks, libraries, and special educators asking for funding for a gym, I would have thought it was a very interesting joke. So that just goes to show how much Southern needs your attention. There's a huge disparity between the Southern cluster and the Northern cluster, especially considering Northern cluster is getting robotics this year, which Southern doesn't even have a robotics program. The only thing that the Southern has are these gym and school and sports programs. They don't have any other third spaces for the children to entertain themselves with after they get home, before their parents get home from work, if they can get home from work in time to take them to something else. These children are in desperate need of third spaces, and Southern High School would be a great advancement to help them out with those third spaces. It is grossly in need of an update. I've been only here a couple of years and I recognize that. And these children truly do need something else outside of social media after school. So I'm sorry I'm going against so many great causes. I promise you I recognize the difference, but Southern really needs to. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilbur. Ms. Howe.
I have some reading material for you guys. Thank you. Just some statistics on how old Southern is. Good evening, and thank you for your time tonight. My name is Julia House, and I live in Churchton. I am here tonight on behalf of Southern students, future Bulldogs, alumni, and community members. Third generation, 2005 graduate, and upcoming student of 2028. We have 3 asks, and I'm hopeful that you can take our request seriously and support our school. The systemic renovations are a necessity for safety and comfort of our students, teachers, and staff. HVAC, electrical, and other systemic services are not optional. They are 58 years old and must be replaced according to ACPS. Dr. Medell made this a project a priority in his original budget and testified before you that it was still a priority. The team room and the second gym are needed for the many sports that we do have. Yes, Southern has an auxiliary gym that is 38 by 38, which is a square and is limited to wrestling and some conditioning. It is not conducive for practice or games. A suggestion would be to consider, while that construction is being completed, to have the contractors find and eliminate the mold smell in the main gym. For months, the FFA and CASE students attended meetings, testified, and advocated for $25,000 to repair the controls on their greenhouse. They received many compliments across the state on their advocacy, including from Secretary Kevin Addix. AACPS has just announced the opening of the CASE program to open Southern's program to additional schools, including Annapolis, Broadneck, Crofton, South River, and Southern. How can a program grow within the school if there's much needed funding to maintain certain aspects, such as a greenhouse opening its windows or not? Southern is a great school, and I invite each and every one of you to come to our school and see what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Howe. Next, Will Johnson. Melissa Britton, Lily Marshall, Gary Kilmer, Laura Lilly, and Chrissy Abrams. Mrs. Johnson.
Hi there. My name is Will Johnson. I am from Greenbelt, but I'm a first grade teacher at Seven Oaks Elementary. I'm here tonight to ask you to amend the budget and to increase the income tax rate for the county's top earners by just 0.1% to reach the 3.3 tax cap. This small change would generate roughly $10 million for our schools, money that could help provide more meaningful cost of living adjustment for educators, or allow AACPS to hire desperately needed special educators and support staff. A 2.25 COLA is just not enough. Right now, you've heard, our schools are being asked to do more with less every single year, and our students are paying the price. In my own classroom, I currently have 3 students with significant special needs. They scream and stim loudly throughout the day, and one of them frequently elopes from the classroom. I've been told that in order to get these students into a more self-contained placement and the services that they need, I must collect extensive behavioral and academic data while implementing interventions and documenting supports. But I need to ask, how am I supposed to realistically do all of these while teaching the rest of my 22 other students? How am I supposed to create supplemental materials, differentiated instruction, grade assignments, contact parents, attend meetings, and complete endless paperwork, all at the same time? Earlier this year, we had a part-time special educator who was helping support these students, but she left because her caseload became unmanageable. Since we've had multiple special educators rotate in and out, while all the students and their teachers have simply been left behind. That instability hurts everyone, especially the students who need consistency the most. This budget is not enough for our students, and it's not enough for our educators who are already stretched beyond their limits. Educators are not asking for luxury, we're asking for sustainability. We're asking for enough support to properly educate our students and enough compensation to live in the communities that we serve. 0.1% increase for the county's top earners could make a meaningful difference in the lives of thousands of students and educators across Anne Arundel County. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Marisa Britton, a member of the Southern High School theater community. I want to start by saying I stand with every person tonight who has asked for investment in Southern High School. A sad fact that support for this high school in the community was cut from the fiscal year 27 budget. A new team room, a second gym, HVAC improvements, and greenhouse modifications. That is the community saying our students deserve better. I agree completely. I just want this board to follow that logic all the way through. Air quality in shared spaces point to mold and moisture issues. Basic needs like HVAC and windows that don't function. Bathrooms are in conditions that no student should have to navigate every day. These are not cosmetic problems, they are barriers to learning. Whole school, whole student approach, which the state has adopted, depends on students feeling safe, healthy, supported the moment they walk through the door. Right now, that building works against us from before a single lesson even begins. My children are in elementary school right now at Lothian, which is a feeder to Southern, and on track to go to the high school. But I am not alone when I say parents in this community that can afford to do so are quietly exploring other options, not because they don't believe in the school, but because they don't believe this building can support their child. That is an enrollment risk that the district should take very seriously. If Southern is worth investing, and I believe it is, then fiscal year 27 budget is the moment to ask whether additions are enough or whether this community deserves a plan for full replacement. I'm asking this board to make that question part of the conversation and not 15 years from now.
So I'm not Jody Meisenberg. Jody Meisenberg is the president of my synagogue, and I am the rabbi, so I'm standing here in her place. So if I don't look like her at all, she's okay with it. I don't see her here. So my name is Ari Goldstein. I am a rabbi at Temple Beth Shalom. I'm in Arnold. I'm a resident of Anne Arundel County. I live in Arnold. I represent over 400 families from my community. And this year, look, not just this year, over the past 5, 10, even longer number of years, there has been such a surge in hate crimes, specifically anti-Semitism, also anti-Muslim, racist hate crimes. We are struggling as minorities on a regular basis. And we have had to protect ourselves and spend this past year $150,000 just for security to protect ourselves. And the reason why is because members of my community, all of them, to a person, are scared. They're scared to come. We have a preschool in which parents are scared to send their kids to our schools. We saw what happened in San Diego just a couple days ago, and we know every time we see another event in another town, we breathe, we sigh, we say, thank God it wasn't here, right? But we know it's just a matter of time. And the best way that's been documented, the best way to prevent these things is when you have police helping to service security and other members to help to service security. And we're just asking that perhaps Anne Arundel County kind of refocuses its attention on perhaps creating more grant opportunities to help the various institutions offset some of the really significant rising costs of just protecting people who are scared. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Council. Thank you for your service to our county. I'm Gary Kelman. I reside in District 6 at 708 Chrisfield Way in Annapolis. I'm here tonight to speak to you about a matter of the utmost importance. But before I do, and in light of what happened yesterday at the Islamic Center in San Diego, I would respectfully request a moment of silence. A moment of silence for the families and the loved ones of those who lost their lives in yesterday's tragic shooting, the most recent victims in a long line of attacks against people at prayer. As the details continue to emerge, one truth is abundantly clear. No person should ever fear violence while gathering in a house of worship. An attack on any house of worship is an attack on the very foundations of a civilized and free society, articulated in the act of toleration, the first such act in the history of the world, by the Maryland House of Burgesses in 1649. May we reject hatred and extremism in every form, and may we work together to restore a spirit of decency, civility, and compassion in this country. In that spirit, I and the three other speakers who are addressing this subject respectfully request your inclusion of the security grant in the county budget. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Warren. Tracy.
Good evening. I'm Tracy Ahern. I live in Odenton, District 4. Good evening, council members. My name is Tracy Ahern, and I serve as the president of the Association of Educational Leaders, representing school-based and central office leaders across Anne Arundel County. I'm also the proud principal of Richard Henry Lee Elementary School. First, I want to thank you sincerely, to thank the county executive and the county council for the funding that is currently included in our proposed budget. We recognize the difficult economic realities facing our county, our state, and our families right now. We understand that every budget decision requires balancing many competing needs, and we are grateful for your continued support of public education. Tonight, I respectfully ask the council to reconsider restoring the original compensation recommendation of a 2% step equivalent and a 3% COLA for AACPS employees. This is not simply about salaries, it's about stability, retention, and protecting the people who serve our students every single day. Across our school system, educators and school employees continue to face rising costs for housing, groceries, childcare, transportation, and increasing concerns about healthcare affordability and future healthcare funding. Even small shifts in employee costs can have a very real impact on our working families. Anne Arundel County has incredible educators, support staff, and leaders, but we are also competing with surrounding districts for talented people. Compensation matters. It sends a message about how much we value the professionals who dedicate their lives to children and public service. Restoring the original recommendation would not erase every challenge, but it would demonstrate a continued investment in the people who make our schools run and who directly impact student success every day. We appreciate your partnership, your support of public education, and your consideration tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Abraham.
She's 5 minutes away.
Next group, Sheila Volke, Stacey Smith, Kevin Peterson, Travis Simon, Thea Morrison, Ruby Griffin, and Delegate Seth House. Ms. Volke.
Good evening, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Sheila Kaufman from District 6, Annapolis, and I serve as assistant principal at Cat North. I'm here not only as an administrator, but as someone who works every day alongside teachers, support staff, bus drivers, counselors, custodians, and families who are committed to helping students succeed. I respectfully ask the council to fully fund the superintendent's requested 3% COLA rather than the proposed 2.25%. While the difference may appear small on paper, to our employees it represents recognition, respect, and support for the work they do every single day. It matters to the administrator supervising events long after the school day ends, the principal arriving before sunrise to ensure schools are safe and ready, the coordinator supporting rigorous instruction, and the special assistant meeting the academic and emotional needs of our most vulnerable students. These employees consistently go beyond their job descriptions because they believe in serving children. A 3% COLA acknowledges that commitment. Like families across this county, our employees are facing rising costs for housing, groceries, health care, etc., and many are working second jobs or considering leaving education. Every time we lose a dedicated educator, students lose valuable relationships, consistency, and experience. As an assistant principal, I can tell you that morale matters. When employees feel supported, students benefit. Stable leadership and strong staff lead to better instruction, safer schools, and stronger outcomes for children. I understand the difficult budget decisions you face, and I appreciate the responsibility you carry, and I thank you so much for your commitment to our county. But I ask you tonight to consider the long-term impact of the decision for a 2.25% COLA. Our employees continue to show up with dedication, professionalism, and heart, even during challenging times. I respectfully ask that you show up for them as well. Thank you for your time, your partnership, and your continued support.
Thank you, Ms. Volke. Stacey Smith.
Good evening. My name is Stacey Smith, and I have the privilege of serving as Vice President of the Association of Educational Leaders, representing not only school-based, but also central office leaders throughout Anne Arundel County Public Schools. I also serve 1,800 students and staff at South River High School. So first, I want to express appreciation to the County Executive and County Council for the support already reflected in the proposed budget. I recognize the significant financial pressures facing our county and understand the difficult choices that must be made when balancing competing priorities. Your continued commitment to public education is valued and appreciated. Tonight, I respectfully ask the Council to restore the original compensation proposal of a 2% step or equivalent, along with a 3% COLA for all AACPS employees. For our employees, this compensation extends far beyond money. It is about life. It's about paying your rent and your mortgage. It's about paying childcare, about whether or not you choose to feed your family if you're able, maintaining reliable transportation, and staying healthy. Many employees are deeply concerned about the growing financial burden associated with healthcare premiums and out-of-pocket costs, which continue to place a strain on all of us. I'm just one example, an $80,000 surgery for a nerve issue in my head. I'm blessed, I'm here, but the rising cost of medication and specialist visits, they're real. At the same time, we also have to think about marketing in AACPS. How do we remain competitive in attracting and retaining high-quality staff? Neighboring districts are continuing to compete, and compensation plays a critical role in demonstrating that Anne Arundel County values people who dedicate themselves to public service and student success. So restoring the original compensation recommendation would provide meaningful support. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the Anne Arundel County Council. My name is Kevin Caton, and I'm the president of the Southern High School FFA chapter, and I'm here tonight to ask for your support in restoring the $25,000 to the budget for renovations to our school greenhouse. Our greenhouse is more than just a building. It's a classroom, laboratory, and a hands-on learning experience where students gain agriculture skills that cannot be taught from a textbook alone. Students learn plant science, responsibility, business skills, and leadership through the work that we do there every day. However, our greenhouse is no longer functioning the way it should. One entire side of the school greenhouse no longer works properly, causing major issues with air circulation and temperature control. During the summer and warmer months, the heat becomes difficult to manage, creating an unhealthy environment for both plants and students. Poor ventilation affects the quality of plants, which limits what we can grow and makes it harder for students to fully use the facility for learning opportunities, as we've seen today with record heats in our greenhouse hitting 110 today. There's also an ongoing issue with the aging equipment and infrastructure that continues to limit the greenhouse's potential. Without renovations, we risk losing valuable educational opportunities for current and future students. This investment is not about repairing a building. It is about investing in agricultural education, career readiness, and the future of students at Southern High School. Agriculture is one of the largest industries in Maryland, and students deserve access to facilities that properly prepare them for careers in science, agriculture, environmental studies, and skilled trades. The County Council has already shown support for our program in the past, and I truly appreciate that commitment. Tonight I ask you to continue supporting students by restoring this additional funding to our greenhouse so we can once again fully incorporate students in their growth, leadership development, and learning. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Casey. Tia Morrison. Drew Griffin. Laura William.
Good evening, colleagues. I'm Delegate Howard. I represent District 30B, and for the interest of transparency, Southern High School is not in my district, but a large percent of the students live there, that go there, live in my district, and the school is literally right across the street from the lines in my district. I'm not only here in my official capacity, but I'm also here as a concerned citizen and taxpayer that does not have any children in the public school system. My daughter graduated from Southern about half a dozen years ago. I want to express my deep concern about the removal of budgeted monies for projects at Southern High School. It's my understanding money was slated for a systemic renovation that has been removed, as well as approximately $25,000 for upgrades and repairs to the greenhouse, which is used to support the local ag programs at the school. We all know there's an inequity at Southern High School when it comes to facilities, programs, field, and funding. I believe there is so much of a disparity that I personally reached across the aisle to all of my colleagues at all levels, state, county, and Board of Education members. I personally spoke to Governor Moore on 3 different occasions and outlined the help that the Southern's high school students needed and why. He agreed. Based on those conversations, I arranged a meeting with Gloria Dent, President of the School Board, Dawn Pulliam, Vice President of the School Board, Councilwoman Ledbetter, all members of the affected districts, both House and Senate, as well as all members of the governor's staff. All were either in attendance personally or had direct representation in that meeting. We all worked hard, recognized the need for a second gym that would be built alongside the renovation, and walked away hopeful that we all could find funding for a second gym at Southern. And although unsuccessful at the state level due to massive budget constraints, this was the last year for a balanced budget. We still fully believe the renovation would occur. Now we're learning that the renovation and upgrades to the greenhouse would be removed from the county budget. My question is why? And so is the question of our students, why? Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Amy Young Buckler. I live in Columbia, Maryland, but I teach at Meade Heights Elementary School in Fort Meade. I'm a library media specialist and a national board certified teacher, and I'm here to respectfully urge you to support a 3% cost of living adjustment rather than the 2.2% proposed COLA for Anne Arundel County Public Schools employees. This request is grounded in the economic reality facing educators in Central Maryland. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Baltimore-Columbia-Towson region has experienced 3.6% year-over-year inflation as of April. That means a 2.25% adjustment does not keep pace with the actual price increases in our region. In practical terms, it's a pay cut. This is especially true for an educator like me. I've been teaching for 28 years, and while I benefit from some extra money as a national board certified teacher, because I earned my MOC prior to December 2021, I'm missing out on more money that I should be getting. Housing costs, our largest expense, rising faster. I'm lucky. My spouse and I bought our house in 2001, but my starter home is now going to be my forever home. I can get a condo bigger than my 1,200 square foot house, but I can't afford to move. The Joint Economic Committee State Inflation Tracker shows that the average Maryland household is paying $191 more per month than 1 year ago just to maintain the same standard of living, and cumulatively, $36,986 more since 2021 due to inflation. They're not abstract numbers. They reflect our lived reality. We're stretching our paychecks to cover food, shelter, transportation, energy, and we've all seen the prices of gas recently. A 3% adjustment is not about gaining ground. It's about preventing further erosion of our buying power. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lauren Kitchen. I live in Crofton, and I'm a 4th grade teacher at Crofton Woods Elementary School. I'm here to address the ever-increasing class sizes in some of our youngest grades. Specifically, at my school, both the kindergarten and 1st grade teaching position were cut for next year. This means the 5 classes we have now will drop to 4. This also means that in kindergarten, the average class size will rise to 25. We currently have 2 full-time TAs who rotate between kindergarten classrooms. That is, if they're not called to sub in another room or called to a more urgent matter regarding a specific student behavior, which happens daily. On top of these increasing class sizes, there continues to be an increase in demands of teachers. I'm sure you've already heard, but on top of literacy skills, number sense, science and social studies, kindergarten teachers will now be required to toilet, aka potty train, a number of students next year. These increases in class size and demands on teachers are going to hurt instruction. It's going to harm our most vulnerable learners, and the ripple effect will surely be felt in the grades that follow. So what can you do about it? You, the council, have the ability to fully fund the Board of Ed staffing requests. You have the ability to raise the teacher's COLA to 3%. And while you have the ability to, I understand that this means you'll also need to leave the property tax rate at the current rate that it is in fiscal year 2026. You may even need to raise the tax for our wealthiest county residents from 3.2 to 3.3%. I understand why you would feel hesitant about this. I understand why your voters would feel hesitant about this. But when decisions get tough, why is it that public education continually pays the highest cost? Why is it that we're okay making learning harder for our students and instruction more difficult to deliver for our teachers? I've been teaching for 17 years. I want to stay in it because I believe in this work. I believe in the importance and value of it. But it's getting really hard to stay when the people in power don't see the same importance. Or rather, they say they do, but are not willing to act in a way that would have a genuine impact on students. So I urge you to think about those classes of kindergartners. I urge you to think about the quality of learning that you are willing to offer them. I know these are difficult decisions to make, but I don't think the kids are worth it. Thanks.
Oh, yes, thank you. Good evening, Council. My name is Adi Damola Adenikinju.
I'm a special educator from Meade Middle School. I live in Hanover, right here in Arundel County. I'm a new special educator, and I'm a career changer from a former role in IT business analysis, and increases in COLAs are a new concept for me. In my old world, I used to go from job to job and sometimes realize 10 to 12% increase each year. I never had any issues with income. So I came into teaching because as a federal government contractor, there were many issues and I needed more stability. So in special education, I think I'm a great fit. I enjoy the work that I do. I love the fact that my students enjoy me. They like working with me, and I have a great rapport with them. I feel like I'm effective in the role. But I do not think I've had to trade my COLAs and increases for workplace stability. It's really not a trade anyone should have to make. I should be able to effectively pay my bills with just one job. And as a professional, why do I have to make sacrifice for one or the other? So as a federal contractor, I occasionally had to work extra hours to meet deadlines. On occasion, I would get bonuses for the extra hours that I worked. As a special educator, I do find myself working extra hours routinely to meet requirements of the job. I have a caseload of about 10 students, and between them, I have about 200 data points I have to collect. This includes IEP progress reports and other information. Besides that, I collaboratively plan to differentiate education for 3 classes each day, 2 co-taught, 1 self-contained. I often find myself as a hamster wheel in modifying, collecting data, writing reports, and spending a lot of time analyzing work. Thank you. I just ask that you fund the budget. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here tonight asking for fair and necessary raises for our school health staff, specifically raising health assistants to $25 an hour and providing cost of living raises for our nurses. Community nurses were recently given devastating news, a $7,000 pay cut. This comes at the same time community schools received a fully funded blueprint budget with a 16% increase from last year. And community managers received step raises. Yet the very people caring for students' medical needs are being asked to absorb cuts and fall further behind financially. School health staff are not optional. We manage emergencies, chronic illnesses, medications, mental health crisis, and provide frontline care for students every single day. Retaining experienced health professionals is critical to student safety and well-being. Meanwhile, the national cost of living increased another 3.8%, and families everywhere are feeling the impact of an economy at war, inflation, and rising costs. Our school health workers are feeling it too. We are asking for wages that reflect the value of work being done. Investing in school health is investing in students. I stand here asking for this proposed raise because I want to continue serving as a health assistant and caring for our students who depend on us every day. This schedule allows me to meet the needs of my medically fragile child while still working and supporting my family. But with the current pay, providing for my 2 children gets harder every single day. Please help people like me who serve and protect the students of Anne Arundel County.
Hello, I'm Jess Morris. I'm the speech language pathologist at Piney Orchard Elementary School. Thank you for your time, and also thank you for your support. I know that 4 of the SLP positions requested were funded in this budget. However, those 4 positions do not support the comprehensive schools, which is what I work in. As a reminder, our department needs 28 SLPs in the comprehensive schools to be fully staffed, and we received 0 for the comprehensive schools. I'm here tonight to share my working conditions, but what is important to remember is my working conditions are our students' learning conditions. I have 72 students on my caseload when I started the school year. There was no increase of SLP staffing with the addition of 2 regional resource K-2 rooms, as well as a 3 to 5 co-taught classroom and a co-taught pre-K classroom. I have 16 students with assistive technology devices that are developing communicators. Many of them are non-speaking and require extensive support. I have attended 195 IEP meetings as of today, and my calendar is booked for the rest of the year. That takes me 195 hours away from student services with all of these increases. The student behaviors that we are now seeing in our classrooms require more support than we are able to provide with the current staffing level. This impacts how we group students to benefit from speech services. Communication is a fundamental human right, and the ability to communicate will impact students far beyond when they leave our school buildings. If our county wants to commit to belong, grow, succeed, we need to consider adequate staffing for inclusion to work. Thank you.
Thank you for
Good evening, council members. Can you hear me? It's nice to see so many of you again. My name is Melissa Kratzis. I'm a special education teacher. This is my 27th year as a teacher in Anne Arundel County Public Schools. I've worked at 9 different schools in my career: Arundel High School, Chesapeake Bay Middle, Arundel Middle, Ruthyson, Marley Glen, countless elementary schools across the county. I currently work at Hebron Harmon Elementary School in Hanover in an autism program, as well as I am the special ed team lead in my building. Our students require the best of us every day. The needs of the students with exceptional needs in our buildings we serve have intensified and require supervision and support that is far greater than ever. Teachers are spending time to ensure basic student needs and to address and manage unsafe behaviors which take away from instruction. I apologize that I missed the last council budget meeting due to a concussion that one of my students caused while in crisis, as I was trying to keep my other students and the adults in my classroom safe, meanwhile maintaining instruction for my other students. Over the last 3 years alone, I've suffered 2 broken noses, concussions, and a fractured shoulder due to student behaviors. That has caused me 4 months of school from my students. It is important for schools to be staffed with teachers and staff to address the needs of students that we have in front of us. As a team lead in my current building, those students with special needs inside general education are struggling to be available for learning, to be safe and regulated without substantial amounts of intervention and support. This job is hard. There's no doubt about that. But every day we do what we have to do to meet the ever-changing needs of our most precious resource. Thank you.
Thank you. Janet Sparks, Shannon Swaller, Catherine Butler, Caitlin Jackson, Arnell Jackson, Jennifer Sell, and Melinda Pierce.
Good evening and good evening. Good evening and thank you for your service to the county. I am a health assistant and my name is Janet Sparks and I work at Park Elementary. I'm here to ask for fair pay, amortized pay, and better benefits. School health are with students the same amount of other county staff and teachers, and we feel we should have the same level of raises and benefits. We often are the first to notice bullying, abuse, and new medical conditions. Just today in my health room, a student came in and stated to me that she was afraid to go home because her father stated when he got home he was going to beat her and her mother after school. She was terrified to go home, so that had to be reported. We see these things every day and are close with the students and just want to be compensated so we can take care of our own families. We are asking for the funds and pay that is level with other local county health staff. We are one of the lowest paid counties for school health. We just ask that you invest in our health staff and the student safety and mental health for our students. Other local county health staff get other benefits such as FSA, FMLA, and the option to spread their pay so that they can get paid in the summer. A lot of school health staff have to get summer jobs just to make ends meet. And then we end up losing staff and have a high turnover rate because people leave for full year-round positions. So please just consider funding for the school health staff and the safety of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes.
So good evening. I live in Baltimore County, but I work at ACPS. My name is Shannon Slaughter, and I'm a special education teacher at Severn Elementary School. During my 7 years at Seven Oaks, I have worn many hats officially and unofficially. Besides being a teacher, reading interventionist, IEP chair, substitute, lunch monitor, mentor, counselor, bringer of snacks. Kids love that. And I know what it's like to do much with so little. In the 2024-2025 school year, I had a caseload of over 70 students. Why? Because I was the only special education teacher with 3 vacancies for 2 months, working 16 hours a day on weekends to meet the needs of my students and their families, for 2 months. The only reason I didn't lose my sanity was because I had an amazing TA and paras working alongside me. But I digress. I'm in this profession because I want to teach and support my students. I can't have children of my own, so these are my kids. I stand in front of you today to advocate, to provide a budget so that all the students can have their needs met with more, not less. And it's not just for Seven Oaks, but all over ACPS. That is why I request this proposal budget to provide the full 82 requested special educator positions to support our current special educators as they face burnout and increasing vacancies. And although I no longer have a 70 caseload, now it's 20, I want my students to have the support and the individualized support that they need to be successful. Thank you for your time and providing me the opportunity to express my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Sell. I'm a middle school science teacher within AACPS, and I also live in Severn Park, where my daughter attends Benfield Elementary. I'm going to be honest with all of you. I'm exhausted. Among other things, I'm tired of seeing our county continue to make decisions that leave our students and their families fighting for the resources they need to survive. Pittman's recommended education budget is a record-breaking investment in education, but it's still not enough. We have a legal obligation to provide required special education services to our students, and we do not currently have enough special education teachers to provide services to those students. If we do not get additional funding through amendments, our students, our school system, and our county is going to continue to suffer in preventable ways. Councilwoman Fiedler. The parents in your district are tired of their children's class sizes increasing. An amendment to the budget that maintains the current tax rate would enable you to tell those parents that you are truly doing everything you can to prevent their children's class sizes from continuing to increase. Councilmember Smith, last year when I was working in your district, incidentally at Park Elementary, I talked to you about how to help my students. You can deliver to those students by supporting an amendment maintaining the current property tax, ensuring those students have a safe place to be where they are supported with the resources they need to survive and thrive. If the 7 of you collectively fail to provide our county with the true amount of money needed to support our school system, you are letting down the very people that voted for you. People care about their kids. Look around the room. The majority of people are here tonight telling you that the education budget is not adequately funded. I say this politely, but read the room. Tonight we are asking the 7 of you to do the hard but necessary thing to ensure that our school system receives enough funding to ensure our students receive a top-tier education. Please make the right decision and amend the current budget to maintain the current property tax rate to provide additional money for our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Good evening. My name is Melina Peterson. I teach high school for students with severe cognitive and physical disabilities at Marley Glen Special Center. But to have a better understanding of what is involved in taking care of the hygiene and health needs of my students, they are age 14 to 21, young adults. All but one of my students use a wheelchair. They all need full physical assistance to meet their hygiene needs. We use a mechanical lift and a changing table when they need to be changed. For the lift, you require 2 people minimum to operate it. Some of the students are larger, so they take 3 staff to move them safely. We undress, change their diapers, dress them again. While there are 3 staff in my classroom, we can not all leave at the same time, so we have to call for additional assistance. Several of my students go to the health room throughout the day for G-tube feedings, flushes, and medication. The health room staff are not supposed to transport students unless it's an emergency. This means 1 to 2 times every hour of the school day, a staff member is out of the room to take the student to the health room, wait while they get hooked up, and then bring them back. This is a constant disruption to teaching. Next topic, general staff coverage is also an issue. Our admin does the best they can to creatively staff the classroom, but when coverage is particularly bad, we have to combine classes. When this happens, our sole goal for the day is to keep the students safe and meet their health needs. When 10 students who usually have 2 rooms with 6 staff are now in 1 room with 3 or 4 staff, first is safety, then health, then classroom instruction. This is life at a center. We understand and we do our best. Staff injuries. We currently have several staff who are out long-term due to injuries occurred on the job, and several who are back and forth. Thank you.
Thank you. Glenn Brenner. Amy Howard, Eric Joyner, Ashley Kane, Nancy Davis, Jennifer Rocky, and Sarah Taylor. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Loretta Brenner. I work also at Marley Glen, and I'd like to tell you about a typical day at Marley Glen. It starts with a coverage sheet that comes out about 15 minutes before the students arrive. We find out what staff are absent, what staff will be reassigned, and what staffing needs will have no coverage. Within the first 30 minutes, within the first 30 minutes of arrival, the assistant principal visits every classroom to see what students' absences look like, and then hopefully she reassigns staff to fill in spots that couldn't be filled earlier. Throughout the course of the day, our walkie-talkies are used repeatedly by staff asking for help. Little things like help getting a student to the health room, help changing a student in the bathroom, and help transitioning a classroom between their room and a cultural arts room. Sometimes it's bigger issues, calling the behavior team to assist with a student who is having a behavior issue that cannot be managed by classroom staff alone, or an even more staff-intensive situation, calling the Tiger team when a student's having a behavior issue is so unsafe that we need a team of up to 12 people to keep them and the people around them safe. On any given day, we may be asked to go into a hole multiple times a day. This is when the staff close their doors and everyone clears the hallway so that a student having an issue can be addressed without the added layer of safety for other people in the hallway. When a student is having a really bad day, which happens several times a month, we have to go into a hole and lock our doors. We are trained, we have experience, we love the students. When we don't have enough staff, we compromise the safety and we compromise instruction.
Thank you, sir. Eric Joyner.
Good evening. My name is Eric Joyner. I'm a U.S. history teacher at Chesapeake Science Point High School. I'm a proud TAC member and a recent convert to the Severn High School gym cause. It's my 5th year teaching in Anne Arundel County, serving students in multiple schools and communities. During that time, I've worked alongside incredible educators who give their time, energy, and care to students every day. They do far more than just teach. They build relationships, support families, strengthen schools, and help hold communities together. I'm here tonight because those same educators are always being asked to do more while falling further behind economically. That's why I'm asking this council to support a cost of living increase that meaningfully reflects the actual cost of living that educators are facing. Many educators are already doing everything they can to make ends meet because our salaries are not keeping pace with everyday expenses. I know this firsthand. I've personally taught summer school, evening school, and twilight school to supplement my income. I'm not alone. Many of my colleagues work second jobs after a full day of teaching. They tutor, coach, DoorDash, and even donate blood plasma to cover basic expenses. These second jobs and side hustles are necessary because everything is going up while our pay is stagnating. We're getting squeezed from all sides. That reality should concern every person in this room. When educators have to work multiple jobs simply to afford the basics, it affects their families, their health, and their ability to remain in the profession. It affects our kids. This is not only a pay issue, it's also a retention issue, a staffing issue, and a student support issue. A 2.2% cost of living adjustment is not enough. Inflation is almost 4%. It does not match the realities educators are living and does not reflect the value of the work being done in our classrooms every day. If we want strong schools, we have to support the people who make those schools strong. If we want educators to keep showing up for students, this county must show up for educators. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Stoner. Ashley?
Good evening. My name is Ashley Kane. I live in District 7 in West River. I am currently the SCYA Boys Soccer Commissioner, the Futsal Associate Commissioner, a soccer official futsal coach to 3 teams, and also a clinic basketball commissioner. I am a former ACPS math teacher of 13 years and currently an Anne Arundel County Government Department of Public Works employee overseeing the Bureau of Engineering's operating budget. So I know very well just how much work goes into preparing each year's physical budget and or physical operating budget and the tough calls that have to be made. Most importantly, I'm a mom of 3 boys who will be attending Southern High School, my oldest heading there this upcoming year. I stand before you today to voice a critical need that can no longer be ignored. For years, Southern High School has been left behind. While other schools receive regular updates, Southern High has endured a cycle of systemic funding inequity. This is not just a matter of budget lines on a spreadsheet. It is a matter of fairness, safety, and the future of our students. However, I believe that we have the power to change this narrative today. The reality inside our building is dire. Our facilities are falling apart. We are facing electrical issues, HVAC issues, and the facilities are in desperate need of immediate repair. Our students sit in rooms and utilize spaces that do not reflect the value of their potential. They need additional gym space, they need new restrooms, they need these updates. It is impossible to foster a culture of academic excellence when the physical environment tells our youth that they are an afterthought. We are not asking for special treatment, we are asking for basic equity. We need the immediate reallocation of district funds to address the long neglected repairs.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and County Council, thank you so much for letting me speak with you and for reading so many emails that I've sent you on this topic. Again, my name is Jennifer Laszlo Mizrahi. I'm here with the President of the Jewish Federation of Annapolis and the Chesapeake and other people supporting security grants for people who are at very serious risk. I've heard incredible stories about people who are asking for more money in the budget. I want to point out that there are literally $0 in the budget for security for these ask-risk organizations at this point. Our oldest congregation, of which there are 4 in our county, is 120 years old. I've had my house in this county for 27 years. To my knowledge, the Jewish community has never before asked for $1 from the county budget at any hearing in any year. This is a special year because we are at severe risk of being literally murdered. We are in fear because there is so much online hate. What just happened to the Muslim community, it was a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old who had been inspired by what they saw on social media. People have access to social media, they have access to weapons, they don't have enough mental health supports, and they have been convinced that Jews are somehow responsible for all of their problems. We are less than 2% of America's population. We are the recipients of more than 60% of the hate crimes according to faith organizations in this country. 2% of the people, over 60% of the hate crimes. We see this on social media, and we see our neighbors clicking positively about things that threaten our lives. We go to the State House, and people are threatening our lives in front of the State House. We ask you for support. We really appreciate your consideration. And that is for other groups also at risk, including our neighbors. Thank you.
Good evening, County Chair. County Chair and council members. Can you hear me okay? Okay, is that better? Okay. I'll try to talk loud. So my name is Sarah Gillen, and I'm here relaying testimony on behalf of Molly Gehrig. She's a special educator for the 7th grade at Mead Middle School. And like many teachers, she is not here tonight because she is actually working her other job. So Ms. Gehrig testifies. My name is Molly Gehrig, and I am a veteran special educator at Mead Middle School. I am asking you to fully fund the 82 special educator positions requested by the Board of Education. This is not simply about workload. It is about legal compliance and student services. Under COMAR, school systems are required to maintain staffing sufficient to provide a free, appropriate public education and properly implemented IEPs. At the same time, Maryland has increased expectations for special education through the blueprint and narrowing the gap goals. Special educators are now required to track more academic goals and objectives, provide more interventions, and document more progress because the state determined students with disabilities were not making sufficient gains. And these expectations are tied to a Supreme Court decision which made clear that students with disabilities are entitled to meaningful academic progress, not maintenance goals. Meanwhile, the number of students requiring services to continue to rise. The CDC now estimates autism prevalence at approximately 1 in 31 children, and that's just one diagnosis. Staffing has not kept pace. Special educators are stretched across oversized caseloads and overloaded co-taught classrooms while still being responsible for accommodations, specially designed instruction, behavior supports, service hours, progress monitoring, and legal compliance. When staffing is insufficient, students do not consistently receive the supports required under federal law. Please fund all the positions. Thank you.
Thank you.
They need to be close to it.
Yeah. We just asked you to come up and speak as closely as possible tonight. Matt Simon, Laura Willoughby, I'm going to call a couple people that weren't here earlier, Catherine Butler, Caitlin Jackson, Carmel Jackson, Ruth Griffin, Travis Simon, Ian Morrison. Yes, sir.
My name is Max Simon. Can you hear me?
Take it off and put it right there.
Can you hear me?
No.
No. Hello? It was turned off. My name is Max Simon. I'm a paraprofessional at Marley Glen. I'm here to discuss the general staffing needs and the cost of living increase that we desperately need. I've spent my entire adult life working as a paraprofessional at Marley Glen. I graduated high school in 2019, and I began working there the following year. Yet, with continued work, I am now at the lowest point I've been in my life when it comes to being able to afford to exist in the community in which I contribute. I live with my mother and my elderly grandmother, and we struggle to exist living 2 blocks away from the school in which I have to walk to every day for work. It's disheartening that I have nothing to show for my years of work, and that our community struggles continually with this. I believe that, sorry, one second. One day I'd hope to be able to support myself, and my peers will be able to support themselves based off of the 3% increase that we ask for. 2.5 is not enough. I hope that we can raise the 0.1% to gain $2 million to be able to fund for the more staff we need and the cost of living increase. We are constantly understaffed at Marley Glen, and I've heard from my constituents and peers here that they are the same. I hope that you have heard our words and will please consider. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Volke. I have lived or worked in Anne Arundel County since 1998. I am a member of Arundel Presbyterian Church in Odington. I am also a community volunteer who regularly shows up to where ICE has been reported to try and verify if it is ICE, and most importantly, connect any of our impacted neighbors and community members to available resources. I'm here today to talk about the Family Protection Initiative and its funding. Over the past year, I've watched as ICE detentions in the county of our residents have more than tripled. Everything you've read about nationally is true here. There is profiling, warrantless arrests, and detention of people who have legal status. Family separations are real. They're happening every single week, sometimes multiple times a day, sometimes multiple times a week. You can't see this slow-moving crisis, but it is here. I've seen firsthand, too, the difference that the Family Protection Initiative resources make to the families and the residents here in the county to help them recover, recuperate, and access important resources after their breadwinner is detained. Having access to a credible immigration lawyer is invaluable, both for the individual and their families. It ensures county families get reliable advice and can navigate the very complex reality of immigration detention that follows. The crisis funding that helps support living expenses, therapy, and other things like that is also invaluable for a family that's immediately thrown into crisis. With these services, loved ones have just a little bit more time to figure out next steps while still staying in their homes and trying to figure out how to navigate the complex next steps that follow. I've also seen what happens when these funds don't exist, as is the case in surrounding jurisdictions. It's a nightmare. I'm asking you to please continue showing the leadership you already have by protecting the existing funding and committing to pulling from the Emergency Assistance Fund Reserve that's been set aside by the county or in budget surpluses.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Please come up to the microphone and state your name and address for making remarks. And remarks will be limited to 2 minutes.
Let's keep going.
I was ready to fight when I saw it. Saw bars and stars. Take me out. Hello, my name is Stephen White. I'm here on behalf of the Anne Arundel County NAACP. I would say take the money for the Southern High School gym and greenhouse from any money allocated to Chesapeake High School sports. The school year started off with the Chesapeake High School student. I found out that a Chesapeake High School student called a black girl the N-word. She was a cheerleader from another school system. And then they called the president of the NAACP to tell me about it. And then it ends the year with a Chesapeake High School student mocking Crofton students with monkey sounds at a softball game. So take the money from there, please, and give it to, I don't think they deserve any more sports. I'm here representing our members who are asking for investments in communities that have been pandered to with words but marginalized by policy. We did have an apology for slavery early this year. Hopefully we can add reparations into our budget. Our members are still suffering from massive inflation and an attack on workers by the Trump administration, an administration that clawed back funds already appropriated if grants included the word diverse. Housing is still the #1 expense on the Consumer Price Index. We must prioritize funding for ACDS to engage in eviction prevention. We need the county to be a partner in investment in public housing in Annapolis. The feds are spending the entire budget of HUD on the personal agenda of a madman who wipes his boob sweat with the Monuments Clause. Our Crofton members want to see a walk bridge across Route 3 so that Riverwalk community and their children can get from one side of the highway to the next instead of running across 6 lanes. They are also asking for more public parks for their children. We heard a lot from Two Rivers members last night, community members last night, and the NIMBYism must be overcome with improved transportation. Our county needs connectivity. We have parts of this county cut off from each other, and people are spending their entire paychecks on Lyfts and Ubers, and so we need to bridge that gap. Thank you, guys.
Hello, good evening. My name is Catherine Hall Day. I am 1185 Green Holly Drive, Annapolis, Maryland, and I am also one of your teachers sitting here tonight with my colleagues. And I can tell you that everything as an ACC teacher, and as a special educator, and as a teacher of all children, everything you have heard is true. And I am just so grateful for the support staff that we do have, but I am begging you, please, I can no longer stay as much as I want to. I've been in the school system myself since I was in 4th grade, Porterfield Elementary on up. I have tried very, very hard. I love my job. I absolutely love my job, but I no longer have the same, it no longer feels like the same job description anymore. And we have worked with exceptional children. They are the light of my life, just getting, besides my own, seeing them get off the bus with their smiles. And yes, we have very, very tough days. You've heard about the injuries. I've had several hospital visits myself this year. And after the 3rd year of my doctor saying, is it your plan to retire permanently disabled? When are you going to finally get this up? And this is not how I wanted to end my career, but this is how I want to end my career. I have to leave because all I feel like I'm doing is keeping my students and my staff safe. And so I don't feel like I'm actually teaching the way that I was, and where I wanted to take this program with the closing of these centers for our primary kids. I hear that my ACC primary is not going to be in existence anymore. And that makes sense because the last 3 or 4 years, I've been getting much heavier needs with less support. And we really, really need you to fund the special education positions and the COLA that we're asking. Thank you.
My name is Dawn Pulley. I'm Vice President of the Board of Education, and I come before you to thank you for your continued support to our school system and to request support for funding a 2nd gymnasium and team room at the Southern High School in the amount of $5.5 million. Built in 1968, Southern High School is 58 years old and has the smallest physical footprint in the entire county with no auxiliary gym. It is one of 2 schools without a 2nd gymnasium. While South River also lacks an auxiliary gym, it has a much larger gym that can be divided and is already slated for a full replacement in the AACPS master plan. Unlike South River, Southern Southern is not slated for a rebuild, but scheduled for a systemic renovation, meaning new HVAC, boiler systems, paint, and lighting, which does not address the critical need for the additional gym space. Imagine this scenario, parents, as a result of students must share a single small gymnasium for a physical education, varsity JV teams for both men and women, wrestling, cheerleading, and other activities. This leads to constant scheduling conflicts, late night practices, and use of makeshift spaces to practice. And while the county has made great strides, thank you for all you've done, in closing the gaps in inequity, we are still not there yet. Students are being bused to the middle school for practices. We can do better. We must do better for our students. Southern students deserve the same opportunities as their peers across the county. I respectfully ask you to support the funding of $5.5 million so we can begin correcting this inequity and give every Southern student the ability to belong, grow, and succeed in a facility that truly meets their needs. In addition, I also support the testimony that has been provided this evening for the greenhouse control system for $25,000. Each project I mentioned, renovation, gym, greenhouse, have their own individual design plan. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Good evening, County Council members. My name is Allison Bullock. I live in West River, and I'm the treasurer of the Southern FFA chapter. I am here tonight to speak about the urgent need for improvements to Southern High School, including support for our CASE program and greenhouse facilities. Students in Anne Arundel County should not have to worry about extreme temperatures, unsanitary conditions, or safety concerns while trying to learn. Unfortunately, this is the reality many Southern students face every day. Our building struggles to maintain consistent heating and air conditioning. Unpleasant odors are common throughout the school, and pest issues have become a growing concern. I was told not to mention this by some people, but others have told me to bring it up. Coming back from prom to prom breakfast, cockroaches were seen all across the school grounds. This might be something that's only seen at night, but there are hundreds outside the door, and it was absolutely disgusting. These problems extend into our agricultural education facilities. Our greenhouse, where students gain hands-on experience in agriculture and environmental science, can reach temperatures of over 110 degrees, as Kevin mentioned. This is unsafe for students, animals, and plants involved in our programs. When I walked into this building today, one of the first things I noticed was how clean and welcoming it felt. I wish I could say the same about the building that hundreds of Southern students and staff enter every day. Programs like CASE and agricultural education prepare students for careers that are critical to our community and economy. However, students cannot succeed in environments that are uncomfortable, unsafe, and outdated. Southern students deserve the same quality learning environment as every other student in this county. I urge you to prioritize funding for Southern High School improvements, our CASE program, and greenhouse upgrades. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Court Garrettson. I am a resident of Lothian, Maryland, down in South County. I am also an alumni of Southern High School, and I guess I would work the job you just did. And if you don't listen to him just based on the cockroach comment, I think there's something very wrong with everybody in this room. I'll have to say I graduated from Southern, went off, served in the military. I also played at the collegiate level for college football. So Southern has done very well for me to progress my career and what I'd like to do in my life. I came back here to South County, Anne Arundel, to raise my family. I have a daughter now who is at Southern. She's a sophomore. She has also told me the testimony that the young lady did and several other students have about the conditions of the high school. And I can tell you, when I went there on the back to school night when she was a freshman, I was wowed by how much had not changed. Not only are there teachers, which is great, and being in such a tight-knit community as South County is, it's great to have that type of atmosphere. But when you walk into a facility, after graduating about 15, 20 years earlier, and it's all the same, you start to wonder, where is our money going to? Now let's talk about money for a second. If you look at the amount that they've asked, when I say they, not just the citizens here, but also your own Board of Education to our county executive, $12.9 million, to fund the 3 items they've talked about today: the greenhouse, the HVAC system, and the gym. That's about less than 7% of the pay-go money that Joan Forno had mentioned before, and it's about less than 0.5% of the total county budget for FY27. So just that alone, that money, that's probably like a fraction of a percentage of the amount of revenue that my fellow citizens and I pay in taxes for this county every year. And let's look at another number. I walked in today, the capacity of this high school for this auditorium was 1,050. It's about 450 for the Southern Gym. So just put that into your mind as you think about this stuff. Thank you very much.
Hi. Can you hear me? I'm Jennifer Enzer. I am not a public speaker, so I'm going to try to follow that up. But I am a mom to 4 kids. They've graduated from Southern in 2016, 2017, this year, and I have one more who's coming in. And I can say that the only thing that hasn't changed is Southern High. I married into this family, and my in-laws graduated from Southern, and when they come to the activities there, my daughter's involved in dance. They said the only thing that's changed is the paint. I can witness, I was there at prom breakfast when we had difficulties with the cockroaches as well as our lighting system because we couldn't get our little fairy lights to light because our electrical system was just outdated. When I was volunteering at it was our bazaar that we have for the PTA every year, and literally our outlets are sparking. Our principal had to come and tell us which outlets we could use. We are prone to overloading circuits all the time because our facility was built a very long time ago. It's truly a fire hazard. I don't even know, thank goodness the building's made of concrete because I think it would have burned down a long time ago. So I appreciate you listening. I'm so proud of our community and everybody that showed up today, and I hope that you guys listen because we need some money and we need your help. We can't do it by ourselves. Thank you. Bye.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Dr. Matthew Fogg. I'm a retired Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal with 30 years of experience, and I live in Prince George's County and represent the caucus of African American leaders here in Anne Arundel County. I'm here to speak on support of Anne Arundel County's security grant program for religion and nonprofit institutions at risk of hate crimes. I know security very well from all over the United States and working federal protecting judges, lawyers, jurors, you name it, I've been involved in it. And I want to think, in Prince George's County, we are fortunate enough to already have a program like this for security enhancements to qualify nonprofits at risk of extremist attacks of hate crimes. Is this grant program the 100% solution enough? No, but it's a partial solution, and it can work. Even a pilot program of $250,000 with grants of up to $15,000 each will allow at least 16 organizations to get grants, probably many more in this county. People have a right to practice religion and organize as we see fit in the county and have the reasonable expectation to do so without the threat of violence. This proposal is a step in the right direction. We do not want to be the next one with violence at a mosque or synagogue or church or gathering or LGBT gathering or whatever. Please put this in your budget, ladies and gentlemen. And for me and my experience and knowing the direction this country has been going in and all the operations that I've worked on, I can tell you here and now, it's something that's coming and it's coming to nowhere. We just have no idea, especially when we're talking about lone wolves and people operating. We see it all the time. So we need to have security in place. We don't want something to happen to any one of us and say, well, why didn't we have the right security there? Why weren't the right people there? This grant is very important. So we thank you for supporting it.
All right, one last call. I'm going to go to to speak. Okay. All right, come on.
I'll make it quick.
You can wrap this up.
That's fine. Oddly enough, this is my home school. I work here. I teach social studies up in room A218. My name's Ben Guido. Mike's here. So here's the deal. I don't live in Anne Arundel County, but I teach here. I live in Columbia. My wife teaches in MCPS, and ACPS is having a 2.25 COLA. While it's great, it's going to present a retention problem. Next year will be my 4th year in the district. At year 5, if I were to transfer to MCPS, my pay would automatically raise about $1,800. On year 10, my pay would be $15,000 more. I teach social studies. I'm always a big fan of bringing receipts. It's publicly available information. While I'm all about saying we need more money as teachers, we definitely do. We need to support our kids. I buy snacks for kids that don't have food. I also think we need to remember the people down in Severn. This is a beautiful building. I was here the year that it opened. The community loves this building, and we are working hard to build a community that supports us. You have a community that supports Severn. I'd ask you to fund the approximate $9 million for our 0.75 extra COLA, and the approximately $5 million to support Severn. With that, have a wonderful evening.